So hi, welcome to my video, and in this video I would like to explain to you how I usually take photos of the International Space Station. It's not rocket science, anybody can do it. You don't need any fancy stuff, any specialized stuff. This very telescope is a 10-inch Skywatcher Dobsonian. It's a flex tube, so you can basically expand this bit and collapse it once you don't use it, so it's easy to carry around. Very simple build. What you can do is you can use it and basically move it the way the ISS is moving. So it's a very good equipment. So you can see it's a real tube. There are mirrors inside. There is one secondary mirror at the bottom, and there is a primary mirror in the bottom and a secondary just right here, and that projects the view just out there. And on this one you can see a tail rod, but I will explain to you exactly what a tail rod is and why is it so good. I will do a close-up about it in a second. So I show you now what I'm using for imaging, which is basically, this is just a reducer. It's just reducing the 2-inch size. This is where you put the eyepiece, where you just look. But if you don't look, instead of imaging, then I need to use this because my PowerMate, the TeleVue 2.5 times PowerMate, which is basically increasing my focal length 2.5 times of the basic standard scope size, which is 1200 millimeters, so meter 0.2, basically the focal length. So I'm gonna, with this I can get 3 meters of focal length, which is a lot. So you need quite a lot of accuracy for that if you really want to do proper imaging. So reducer to a 1.25 inch, then I have the TeleVue PowerMate, and I have a ASI 224 color camera, but I'm also using an ASI 120mm, which is a monochrome camera. I'll be honest, I have more success so far with the mono camera because the sensitivity is just better, but I just bought this camera, so I've only tested on an ISS which only the elevation was 41 degrees, so it's not really tested properly yet, but it's coming soon. So once I do this, obviously there's a cable here, I attach it to the laptop, and what I'm doing basically is, once I align the tail rod with the scope, so what I'm seeing when I see, let's say, a star in the middle of the tail rod, then it should be exactly where the tube is pointing. So on the laptop I should see that star right in the middle of my screen. So I need to play around as long as I get this, basically, this accuracy. So what is a tail rod? So this little piece here is a tail rod. So basically you just mount it on the top of the scope, like so. And what it does, it is replacing my finder scope. But what's the trick? The trick is, you should be able to see now concentric red circles. I can adjust how strong these lights should be. It's daytime, so it's a bit difficult now, but at nighttime I should reduce it completely. So there's a little way to turn it on. Anyway, so that light source is projected onto a plate, basically. If I move the scope a bit, then you should be able to see exactly the same concentric circles, just right there. And if I move the scope, it is moving with it. It's a bit like a finder scope, but there is no magnification whatsoever. But instead, it's a very steady source, and it's easier to keep basically ISS just right in the middle of that circle, the tiniest circle. So what exactly happening when I'm doing the ISS imaging? Once everything is aligned, then basically I just loosen up the two this piece on the side of the scope, and when action time comes, I'm just basically standing behind it, looking through the tail rod, and then just simply following it, you know. So if it comes from that side, sorry, I have a little room in my balcony. I'm still struggling, so I keep looking. And once I did the setup, I'm just keep moving the scope like this, and I'm just hoping that I get the right results. You need to find out first exactly how you need to do the setup on your laptop, basically, because that's crucial. Expo time, gain. I use fire capture for these cameras, and yeah, it's absolutely feasible. Take a look at. I'm gonna show you now a few pictures. What I got so far. Pretty good results. I'm kind of proud of it because it's all manually tracked, and it's really hard. If you have ever tried it, even with a handheld camera, you know exactly that it's very, very difficult. So I will encourage anybody to go and try it. I have done this with Maxutov scopes, Newtonians on equatorial mounts. You can really try with all kind of equipment. It really doesn't matter, as long as you sort of nail the right settings, then I think you should be able to capture a lot of good stuff, to be fair. So yeah, take a look at a few photos now. I'd like to show you the basic principle that how is exactly done. First with an airplane. This is a Boeing Dreamlifter, and without the power mate, basically you can see as I try to track it, it goes up and down here and there on the screen. So let's see what's happening if I use the power mate and I try to do the ISS. This is a real footage I took a few months ago, and you can see it's zigzagging all around the screen as I try to follow its motion in the sky manually with my scope. It's not an easy task, but the rewarding bit is when I can keep it still. Here is some slow-mo at 1/4 of the speed, and yeah, and you can see that it's feasible, and I'm looking for the good frames basically.